Hi everybody, this is Chartsky and we're going to flash back today to December the 11th, 2018. I'm going to be doing this video just slightly different than the other videos. On December the 11th, we started every day like we do every other with a top-down analysis in the pre-market that results in a game plan. This one's a little bit detailed, so I recorded it separately, and here it is. Okay, I'm going to have to record the top down separately because there's so much on this chart I don't want to confuse you. I want to be able to show it. I'm going to use my little red ball like I do at times in the live trading room. Let's take care of these things on the bottom first. And the lines, there are different lines. The lines that go all the way to the left side of a chart, like all of these in the Euro FX, are there the day before, 2 days before. They're there ahead of time. These are target lines and SR levels, especially right here. You would have known about this in advance and could have sold the euro up here, and look how it came down. And so what we were talking about in the top down in the pre-market was that the euro had come down pretty good, and we didn't know if we could get a sell at or about this red target level. So that's this one here. That's gold. We're just not fooling much with gold. It's very, very disappointing. This is crude oil market. These lines I add, this is a stealth zone here. And so what I was telling everybody on the morning here was that if crude oil, it was coming up, if it came back down, that it would be a sell at 95. You could add it on at 85 and your target would be 60. So just a few minutes after 9 o'clock, you already had this trade. If you're interested in crude oil, been a good trade for the rest of the morning, actually, until the afternoon RTH close. But anyway, let's talk about these two top markets. Those are the stock indexes. Those are the ones most of you are interested in. And I've got noted on the chart that the NASDAQ had risen 140 points this day by this time, and that the S&P had risen 46 points. Okay, so they were going to either top out and retrace. This move's going to top out and retrace, which is this, or if we couldn't get in on that, that it would come back and we get in on a retest of a push up. So that's what we were kind of looking more for. I know this is number two. Number one would have been picking a top in a market that's already come up 140 points. Same thing over here, trying to pick a top on a market that's already come up 46 points on low volume. That's not going to be a high probability trade. So I thought we might see that, but really number two was the one that we were kind of looking for. That's the better of the trades right there. So that's the top down and what that little screen capture shows from the 11th. Okay, that's the game plan. So let's move on to the morning session of December 11th, 2018. And what we did, how the trades were called and managed for everybody in the live trading room. Raise the NASDAQ, raise the S&P. Let's see if we can get in them here. Before they pull back and head up, massive short squeeze, remember that. We may not get in it. It may not whip back and let us in. I may have been just a little bit too low and missed the entries. I hope not. I hope I didn't give these away. $72 on the trade through will be the buy, 79 in the NASDAQ. So if we don't get in lower, they trade through 67.79 in the NASDAQ and 26.72 in the S&P. We're going to take the lower buys off and go in higher. Come on, they're trying. Come on, one more time. Backfill, let us in. Hitting on us in the S&P. Come on, they're front running. Ah, daggone it. All right, we're in the S&P. Come on, NASDAQ. Ah, dad burn it. Looks like we're going to miss the NASDAQ. I'm going to raise the NASDAQ to 69 with an add-on at 64. Got in the front end of the S&P. Come on, backfill NASDAQ. Let's watch 72. Raise it 72 in the NASDAQ with an add-on. 5 points back at 67. And go +1 in the S&P. Take the add-on off. Watching 79 above in the NASDAQ. Trades through. We raise it. Raise it. Dead burn it. We got the S&P. I missed the NASDAQ getting in by just a few ticks. Dadgone it. We're having to chase these things. $80 ticks in the NASDAQ now if we get a feel here. We already got the full daily profit target off that S&P trade, but still, whoops. Oh, we're in the NASDAQ. Sorry, I missed it. I was writing on the chart. All right, 80 ticks in the NASDAQ. See if it'll turn up. All right, +1 in the NASDAQ. Take the add-on off. Working 80 ticks here. Let's see, we'll move those over there to the side. We're at +1 now. So we got a free trade going there. We got the daily profit target over here off the front end. Oops, there we go. Come on, NASDAQ, you can push up. See, this is the push up that we were talking about. We didn't get an add-on with the NASDAQ. I just missed it down there, and I'm sorry about that. If we can get a nice 80 tick trade out of it, that'll be okay. Come on, push up. Boy, they're just having trouble running higher, aren't they? I mean, we should be seeing the pullback and the push up. Okay, should be testing the highs up here. And it's just not doing it yet. Okay, those little trades got pretty good results. 5 points in the S&P. We had to chase the NASDAQ up a little bit and got knocked out with a tick trying to trade smart. But just stop and think. That's 5 points in the S&P. And of course, in the S&P, you can trade about any size you want. So most should have been happy with those results right there if we had stopped. But we expected the market to make a run up toward those highs. We had to pick a good spot and try and ride it up. It's not as easy as it looks because you can get knocked out really fast with small stops in a market that has moved that far. So, still trying to catch the retracement and ride the move back up for a retest of the highs. We move on to the next trades as they were called and managed in the live trading room on December the 11th. All right, that's a bearish. It's what we were watching for. Be careful. 38. Wait a minute. 38 buy in the NASDAQ with an add-on 5 points back for a big trade. We'll look for 10 points in the S&P. 64 on a trade through, we'll buy it. Go in 62 for now. 62, 60 add-on in the S&P. Going to be 10 points. 10 points for the S&P trade. 100 ticks minimum in the NASDAQ. This is what we were talking about earlier. They may pull back. I may bump this NASDAQ. 64 on a trade through, raise the S&P. 64 on a trade through. I'm going to bump the NASDAQ up to 43. 43 add-on 38. All right, we got to get it 64 in the S&P with an add-on 62. We don't want to miss this NASDAQ. Raise the NASDAQ up to 48 on a trade through. All right, 48 in the NASDAQ. 48 add-on 43, okay? 48 add-on 43. Ah, come on, we don't want to miss this thing. Very volatile. Let's come up to 50. 67.50, add on 45. All right, we got 50 right away, which is fine. 100 ticks minimum. Let's see what price does. It'll give us the add-on. If it gives us the add-on, we'll just stick to 100 ticks. Be 100 and 120 if we get the add-on. Boy, we sure might get more than that in the the NASDAQ. You sure could get a lot more than 100 ticks in the NASDAQ, but again, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. These are add-on trades. We've already got the daily profit target plus. See what I was telling you about? You want to be patient. All this whip, and then it caught them. Bam, spiked out. And now we should see the big move to the upside. Same thing here, spike out of the whip. Now we should see the move to the upside. 100 ticks in the NASDAQ, 10 points in the S&P. And I suppose I can mark them because they're staying above. Just use volatility. And if they can't turn up and they start whipping again, we'll just get out and call the morning with the full daily profit target plus. All right, here it comes whipping back in the NASDAQ. 100 ticks working, 10 points working in the S&P. I think we're fine on these trades. I just think we have to give them a little room to simmer. And NASDAQ is just whippy. All right, here comes that NASDAQ back toward the add-on. S&P too. They may not be done whipping back, but when they turn up, they're going to turn up. They should turn up fast and strong. Let's see this guy. Move him over a little bit. That was number 2 in the S&P. Okay, remember what we talked about. Massive short squeeze, buying and buying and buying and buying all the way up, okay? And all these deep pockets or whatever that bought it all the way up. How do they get out? They sell, right? And you can see it. You can see them, some liquidating. But this is not something a retail trader does. Those are the big, deep pockets trying to take advantage of other big, deep pockets. And I'm almost positive we're going to at least try and run up and test these highs. Could take them out. Might not take them out. But I'm pretty sure we're going to see this, like we talked about pre-market. We've been trying to buy it all morning, hadn't sold it yet. Clear all that off so it's not distracting. S&P is catching its breath. Nasdaq's trying to turn up. Looks like the S&P wants to try and turn down. They may be gunning for the stops right under this little low we just made for the weak-handed buyers of the short stops. Which is not to confuse my friend shortstop. All right, there the S&P is trying to turn up too. Come on, 100 ticks working in the Nasdaq, 10 points in the S&P. Add-ons. See if we can get them. I'm a lot more confident in this Nasdaq than I am in the S&P because obviously target in the Nasdaq's right in the middle of that whip zone, which we know it's going to get to. Not so sure about that. It's going to have to be making a run up there. But you take the trades, you let them work. We're going to go to break even here pretty soon. I'm just not sure this S&P doesn't want to try and run those stops, which would give us the add-on. If it doesn't, it doesn't. All right, Nasdaq's turning up pretty good. Take out that high. Nasdaq right there. Take out that high. S&P, you too. Both of you take out the highs. Got my little pen on the wrong color, don't I? Dadgone it. Sorry about that. There you go. Take out the high. Hadn't done it over here yet. Good enough for me in the Nasdaq. We're going to +1. Straight +1 in the Nasdaq. Take the add-on off. 100 ticks. Working. Come on, S&P. You can do it. It's up there again. It's up there again. Bust on through. There you go. Busted through. +1 in the S&P. Take the add-on off. And we'll see if she'll run up there to 10 points. See if our Nasdaq will run up to 500 ticks. I'm sorry, 100 ticks, not 500 ticks. Boy, I bet some of you fell out of your chair on that. Sorry. It would be 500 a contract. Just 100 ticks. The S&P gets up through 70, we're going to start trailing it. I'm pretty sure we'll get this Nasdaq at 100 ticks. But these are add-ons, icing on the cake. So we'll get something out of the S&P as soon as we clear the NASDAQ. We got close, and then the buyers kind of wore themselves out, and the sellers came flooding in, the seller computers flooding in right ahead of the target there. But I think it'll be okay. Should get up to around 77, 78. Well, let's lock in a point in the S&P. We get a point out of it for right now. Make it worth taking. Well, not really, but we'll get something for our effort. I got to watch this NASDAQ as it gets right up here next to the target to see. Again, NASDAQ should get up to 77, 78 area. We just don't know when or how. And it could go a lot higher than that if it retests those highs. Man. Hundred ticks working in the NASDAQ, looking for 10 points in the S&P if it'll just go. Lock in 2 points in the S&P, 2 points trailing. I think that S&P is coming back, and I just can't see why the NASDAQ didn't get up there yet. 2 points locked in on the S&P. That's a nice little add-on right there. There goes the NASDAQ like I thought she would. So, 100 ticks in the NASDAQ. Nice little add-on. And the S&P's running on up there. Good job, S&P. Lock in 4 points in the S&P. Lock in 6 points in the S&P. Come on, you can do it. 10 points. 10.25. Got 6 points locked in. Let's lock in 7 in the S&P. Come on, you can do it. Don't want to get too close because I think it's going to get up there and fill us. I don't want to give it away, but I don't want it to come back either. Got 7 points locked in our S&P add-on. 7 points locked. Come on, push on up there. I'm going to go to 8 if it gets really close again. Going to try and milk this thing. I'm not going to let it come back. So your next move will be to lock in 8 now. Just get ready. Got 7 locked in right now. Worst you can do on this trade is 7 points. It's not a bad place to be in, is it? Don't let it feel like a failure if it comes back and knocks us out at 7. 7 points is a great trade. Yeah, 8's better, 10's better. But don't start getting greedy. Just think of all the people this morning that didn't get 7 points, didn't get any points. They lost. Think about that. And looks like we're going to get nipped, and we did for 7, and that's okay. Because look at that. Look at that. Okay, can come all the way back. So we'll take our 7. and be very happy. Let's see, 7. So there we go. We can take that off now. Crude oil never did come back down for us, so we never got that trade, but we got a great add-on day. We'll see if there's any questions. If there are, we'll deal with them. Otherwise, we're done. Okay, there wasn't much follow-through in the stock indexes that morning, but we managed to get another great add-on day. We did it the old-fashioned way. It was boring at times, I'm sure, but again, that's how trading can be. And to be honest with you, I'd rather have boring trades. Now looking into the future of that day, you can see that the lower highs, the effective trend line across there held, and price just could not break up and retest the highs. You see in the lower left that crude oil never turned down, never engaged the trade that I told everybody about around 9 o'clock, but look at that. The S&P did come all the way back. So by taking just 7 points, and I say just 7 points kind of sarcastically, because anytime you can get just 7 points out of an S&P trade, I think you've done pretty good. Remember, you can trade all the size you want in the S&P. But anyway, taking just 7 points turned out to be the right move. And abracadabra, there is crude oil, which did turn down, as we said, went right to the target that we gave out, 2.5, 3 hours before it finally went down. And yes, you could have gotten an extra 10 ticks out of it, but like I always say, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. It might have worked out this time, but taking the target off at 60 was the smart thing, in my opinion, to do. That was the trade anyway that I would have let you have around 9 o'clock in the morning. So if you want some more information about my live trading room and how it's different than others, or if you're ready to join us, please visit my blog at www.chartsky.com. I say all the time that if you're new to trading, or if you're struggling, if you're maybe struggling to pass a combine, if you just want a second set of eyes on the chart, or if you just want a warm, welcoming group to join, we'd be glad to have you. It's a little bit late now to turn 2018 around. Sad to say you could have been with us the whole year, but you've got plenty of time to get on board for 2019. Hit the ground running and get it off to a good start. Here is the CFTC disclaimer. It's very important. I urge you to pause and read it. And if you have any questions, whether they're questions about this video or any other videos on my YouTube channel, questions about anything I said or any of the little notes that popped up during this or any other video, or questions about whether there's room for you in the live trading room, any kind of questions at all, please feel free to send them to me at chartskytrades@gmail.com. I try and answer all questions within 24 hours. Again, if I don't answer your question quickly, it's probably in the spam folder, so don't think you're bothering me by sending it twice. I guess that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and happy holidays.